Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Expendable Show. I'm your host, the Expendable. So, Shauna's supposed to be on today, but she's late, just like she's late to work every day. Just kidding. She's late, though. 3 days off, no pay. So, let's get down to business. So, if you like my show, like, subscribe, ding the bell. That's how I get noticed, and we can further um, expand my propaganda. What the liberals tell me, I'm a propagandist, whatever. But I go fact check my own self half the time. And then I got my dad who fact checks me in real time during the show. And then I've got my fact checkers in my comment section, our lovely military vets that always watch my show. Thank you for your service, gentlemen. So let's get right into it. There's a lot of stuff to cover. And it's nothing that's like breaking. Like it's not like the biggest story ever, but it's all little stuff that kind of that's going to add up to other things. So I think we're in for like a kind of a conglomerated, chain of events. So once again, if you're on X or TikTok or any of the social medias, especially Instagram, I wish Shauna was here because she'd be able to speak on it. I'm permanently banned from Instagram because of my conservative views. Whatever, Mark Zuckerberg didn't want to be on Instagram anyway. That's like the most narcissist. Well, no. I take that back. I'm going to fact check myself. Snapchat is the most narcissistic app on the internet, bar none. But Instagram's second. I don't have either one of them. I don't like taking pictures of myself. I don't like looking at myself on these shows. But I want my brain, I want my knowledge and my brain and my problem solving and my research to get noticed. And the only way to do it without getting censored by every left-wing media outlet is to just do it my damn self. So that's why I'm on TV. And that's why I'm on the Republic News in India. And that's why I write for newspapers in Pakistan. They don't censor me. They let me do what I want to do. But it's cool. It's cool. I like doing it. I enjoy it. I'm famous in India. I need to learn how to like do Bollywood. I need somebody to teach me how to do Bollywood. But today, let's talk about the misinformation. Oh, Shauna's knocking on my door. Let's see. It's Ilhan Omar. Oh, no, that's Shauna. You do look like Ilhan Omar with your beanie on. I'm just saying. Does she look like Ilhan? Let us know in the comment section if Shauna looks like Ilhan Omar.
But popular demand, all black people do not look alike.
Oh, see what she did right there? She hit me back. I apologize. It's Black History Month. I should be more sensitive. I'm not going to be sensitive to Ilhan Omar, though. I don't care what color she is. She's a moron. Okay. Shauna doesn't have anything further to say. Okay. She had all kinds of things. She didn't leave me alone all day at work today. She had this to talk about. I was like, oh my gosh, can my brain just take a break from all your ideas and information that you need to tell me? Yeah, that was the kind of day me and Shauna had. Every time I walk past her desk, I gotta tell you something. I'm on break, man. I'm on break. Come here. Look at these. Look at these security cameras I found. I'm not thinking. I'm done thinking. No, Shauna does a good job at work. I'm going to give her due credit. I would probably, I would be lost without her at work. In honesty, all honesty. I'm going to keep it real. So, good job, Shauna. Even though you aggravate me sometimes. So anyway, don't believe the misinformation that's out there. It's everywhere on social media. They're definitely creating a smear campaign. They're not even, it's crazy because it's being led by the left-wing politicians. You're seeing like blatant lies from Pete Buttigieg, Schiff, which that's, I mean, dude, are we really surprised? Adam Schiff is like his whole career is based on lies. Enough to where he gets censored in Congress. And then you're just seeing it. Then they're normal propagandists on X. They're doing the same old, peddling the same old lies. So to me, it's like these guys didn't learn their lesson from the election, Shauna. What, like, did you realize that America, like, we know how to use Google. Like, we can fact check you. And we do on a regular basis because we've caught you lying so much that now we just automatically go fact check you. And then we find out you lie.
I think even more than that, they forget that everything now that you say ends up on social media. Like, it doesn't disappear. So they'll literally just repost the video you saying whatever to show that you've lied. So it's just, I don't get it.
It's crazy. It's crazy, like, how dumb they think we are. Like, I know that I'm a conservative. I was just talking about this on TikTok a little bit ago. I know I'm a conservative, and I grew up shoveling horse poop. And, everybody in my family, we're all related and married to each other and everything. But, we do know how to use Google still. I'm just kidding. We're not all related to each other and married to each other. I did grow up shoveling horse poop. That is factual. I learned a lot doing that. It made me a hard worker. So maybe the liberals need to go take their kids out and go throw them in a barn and let them shovel some horse poop for about 8 hours in the hot sun and see if they learn a few things. There's a lot of lessons to be learned standing in a horse stall full of poop. It's getting deep. You better do something about it.
Definitely no. I would be like, this is not the job for me.
That's why you didn't learn nothing.
Learned plenty. Manual labor, it's not for Shauna. I'm good.
Let's see what Leon has to say about that. He's gonna put you in a horse stall. So anyway, it's apparent that most of the left appears to have either a deliberate plan to cause problems or to misinform their ever shrinking base, or they just have a slow learning curve. So I'm willing to bet that it's a mixture of both, that they're being deliberate, but they got a slow learning curve because they're still trying the same tactics with their diehard vote blue no matter who following. And they're gonna sink. That ship is gonna sink. Period. It's gonna sink. They are going to self-destruct the Democrat Party to the point where it's going to be extremely hard for them to ever win another election. So that's what they're going to run into, especially when Doge gets done and Kash Patel gets confirmed. That's what a lot of these liberals don't. They're like, well, there's no fraud. There would be inquiries and things. We don't have an FBI director yet. How can an investigation get sent to the Department of Justice without an FBI director referral? It can't happen. And so everybody's waiting on Kash Patel to get confirmed. So that way he can get these thousands of cases dumped on his desk and he can go, yep, send those up to DOJ and let's get these indictments rolling. That's what we're waiting on. There's fraud everywhere. Guaranteed, Elon Musk has linked all that money to the exact people who received it. Guaranteed. That you're going to see so much information come out. I've already seen Elon recommend Department of Justice intervention on certain accounts. So that's a whole thing. That's going to happen. We're going to see people get arrested. You can't steal American taxpayer money. You can't divert government funds to an NGO and then have it sent right back to you just because it went through an NGO. It doesn't work that way. This is not a Ponzi scheme. So It's our taxpayer money, and now you got exposed, and the American people are going to be pissed. So deal with it. Now, let's get off of that. I'm done making fun of liberals for now, and their geniusness, and their exclusively highly intelligent college degrees that are so much smarter than us hillbillies. So much smarter than the people in the hood are the liberals. They're so smart. But they wouldn't last 10 seconds in a troubled community, guaranteed. They ain't got it like that. They won't stand on that business, will they, Shauna? All those Washington liberals and those super yuppie soy boys that are up there in Alpharetta and Cobb County and Buckhead boys. They ain't gonna make it down. They ain't gonna make it down in College Park.
I doubt they're even going to that side of town, honestly.
Yeah, that's the trenches. I'm in the trenches. East side Atlanta, baby. Come on.
Okay, that's not the east side of Atlanta. So moving on. Okay.
East side of Atlanta. Well, I work on the east side of Atlanta.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
We got gangster stuff that happens all the time.
Boy, bye.
Quick story before we get into the news. When I first moved down here to Atlanta, there was like a major arrest happening like a block down from our facility. And I was like, what is going on? Well, then I read in the paper that Gucci Mane got arrested on Mountain Industrial Boulevard, which is a block from our facility, drunk while walking around with a gun in his hand. He was drunk walking around. The DeKalb cops picked him up. That's what happens on our end of town. And didn't Gucci bury somebody in a schoolyard like in DeKalb County somewhere?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Allegedly, he rapped about it, so he.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, here we go. All right, Gucci. I don't really think you did that anyway. I think you're an outstanding citizen. You and Waka Flocka Flame. And Waka Flocka Flame, he's a Trumper, I think. He likes Trump. Anyway, let's get into the news. Europe. So there's this whole thing brewing in Europe, and I've been paying more and more attention to it because I see what's happening. I'm starting to kind of see all these pieces come together. So as you know, if you read my book, The Swiss Effect, which is right behind me, right here, written by yours truly, it's available everywhere you can buy books. The Swiss Effect. Just look for the Swiss flag on the front. It's surrounded in darkness. Yeah, that's a metaphor. But if you read my book on a serious note, I map out how all of our problems in America revolve around Europe, specifically through Switzerland. Now, we're seeing Donald Trump drastically pull away from Europe. I already mapped it out in the book. What happened that made Donald Trump pull away from Europe? I wrote this book in 2024, at the beginning of 2024, released it in October 31st on Halloween is the day it was released. I already saw this coming. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but this was an easy pattern to pick up on. And we are missing it as Americans. We have a lot of people out there still going, well, why is he doing this to Europe? Europe's evil as shit. That's why. We got to stop dealing with these dudes. They're not doing anything right. And they're milking us for our money. I had a comment on one of my TikTok videos that one of my regular guys that he's kind of in the know in a lot of things, but he brought to my attention. He said, "Hey, Britain's been in the Ukraine this whole time," and it made me think. I'm like, there are reports where a lot of other countries are already in Ukraine fighting, which is why Ukraine is still standing. Because you would have thought after a couple of years of fighting that the Ukraine, they didn't have that many people. There's only like 66 million people in the whole country. Half the country fled. So how many soldiers do they really have left? There's not a lot of people left, according to the numbers. So they're bringing in soldiers from elsewhere on the load. All they do is they go, hey, I need this brigade to go in there, but everybody take off your patch, your flag patch. That's all they do. Then they can deny, oh, we're not there. You see any British flags in there anywhere? That's what they do. And so this guy was right on my TikTok. I was like, that makes sense. England's already there, and we probably are too. But I mean, since Trump's been in office, I'll bet you we've pulled everybody out of there. But during Biden's regime, I'll guarantee you there was American soldiers in some way, whether it was through some of the defense contractors. America had a hand in it. That's how they do their plausible deniability. They pay the private sector to go do the stuff that they can't legally go in and do. Because if we do it, then we got to take responsibility. Oh, yeah, we are there. Sorry, Russia. We didn't mean to put boots on the ground, even though you told us not to. Instead, they pay a private military group to go in there, and then they can say, we're not there. We don't know what you're talking about. We don't know who these troops are. When in reality, our paychecks pay for them. So in Ukraine, it's turning into a big mess. It's going to become a bigger mess. So they're terrified. Europe is terrified of a Trump-Putin deal. They don't want this war to end. It's obvious. Trump is calling their bluff. Trump is calling their bluff. Trump has made it a point to say, hey, if we'll end this war if Ukraine comes off of their precious minerals in their ground. That's bait. Don't fall for that, people, because Trump is baiting Europe, because Europe wants what's in that ground. And so Europe's going to have to expose themselves rapidly and to get to it. They're going to say, well, if America's pulling out and they're going to let Russia win this war, then Russia's going to end up with those minerals in the ground. Well, now Trump's in there negotiating with Russia and trying to get Ukraine to help end the war so America can get those minerals in the ground. But so now that America's pulling back, Europe's going, hey, let's get all of our money together and let's keep this war going because we got to get what's in that ground. Because I don't know if anybody realizes it, but there is a giant mineral roundup going on in the world right now. Everything that's precious in the ground, everybody's digging it up. It's a fact. That's why Africa's getting so hot right now. It's because all these foreign countries are going all over the world and they're nabbing up everybody's precious minerals. It's a fact. Fact check it. Fact check it for yourself. So I had a little interview that I did the other day with a friend of mine that's from Belarus. And she stated this war is really simple. If the Ukraine puts their weapons down, the war's over. If they just put their weapons down, the war's over. Zelensky's keeping this going because of the money. And so I believe that. I'm hearing that from almost every source that I have in that region, that this is getting drug out because Zelensky wants money and everybody wants what's in the ground underneath Ukraine. That's why they selected all these presidents, so they would just relinquish the minerals in the ground. Which I could sit here and I could tell you what's under that ground. It's very, very significant and important. But I want you all to go out and dig it up yourself, so that way you're not just hearing it from me, the propagandist. So the European Union is rounding up money. They're getting ready to give Ukraine $6 billion. That's going to get them by for a little bit. But as you know, Zelensky's a giant succubus, and he's going to continue he's going to use up those resources as fast as possible, and he's going to ask for more. So that's never going to end. So Prime Minister of England, Keir Starmer, which I made fun of on YouTube yesterday, on my shorts, he suggests that England's going to put boots on the ground in the Ukraine and deploy fighter jets. There you go. World War III. As soon as a fighter jet or as soon as a British boot hits, World War III starts. And you're going to see exactly who's aligned with who. You're going to see Brazil show up. You're going to see Iran show up. You're going to see North Korea send more. You're going to see World War III start. It's going to happen. Oh, I thought I got fact checked by my dad, but he must not be watching today. Also, Secretary of State Marco Rubio has been meeting with the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. These talks have been productive, so productive that the left is terrified. Because now not only are they talking about let's end this war, but now they're talking about what kind of business arrangements can we have with Russia after we end this war and things can get back to normal. So listen, I'm going to explain this to every liberal out there or every skeptical conservative. Being friends on a business aspect with Russia is not a horrible idea. For one, Russia does good business. They pay their bills. For two, why not have your enemy as close as you can get to them? Why not be able to manipulate your enemy to not do bad things? What's so bad about that? What's so bad about being the puppet master of the people that are usually causing problems? Why is that? Why is that such a bad idea? Shauna, what do you think? Friends with Russia or not?
I mean, nobody else wants to be friends with Russia, so I don't know, me personally, I think it's a good thing because everybody hates Russia. So if you can make them a frenemy, why not? That gives you a good lesson. So, I mean, I don't know. And to me too, I don't know. It's just like, it makes you question, why does the rest of Europe hate Russia? This small little country, I mean, yeah, they have big military powers, I guess you can say, but outside of that, what is why is Russia such a threat that the rest of Europe hates them so much? So it makes you question. And then the only person that's willing to see past that and be like, okay, cool, well, we can do business. We don't necessarily like each other all per se, but we both can understand we're businessmen and we're trying to do business. So I don't see it as a bad thing.
Right. I agree with you. So my dad
just have Russia, who always likes to go to war, to have them on a positive side with America, especially with everything we have going on, it's always a plus. Just saying.
So what do they say? Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. I mean, you kind of have a good idea what your enemy's doing if you're doing business with them all the time. So my dad did bring up a good point, and I forgot about this, and I was going to add it earlier, and I forgot. But as soon as the talks with Rubio ended, Russia launched 100 drones at the Ukraine. That is so Putin's a psyche. He is a psyop himself. So what he does there, and I did a lot of thinking about that after I saw that he did that. What the timing of it was, Marco Rubio left. We're going to make Europe think that the United States is on our team, that they okayed this. And so Putin is playing the psyop game. Make no mistake about it. Putin's not innocent. Zelensky's not innocent. I don't really think anybody's innocent in this whole ordeal. What we need to do is end the conflict. That's what matters. Do whatever it takes to end this conflict. Too many people have died. It's time to move on to something else. And we got to stop investing in these billions of dollars in this. And what better way to not have to spend money is to end the event that is sucking up all of our money. So Zelensky wasn't invited to that, obviously. So Putin has stated that he's ready to sit down with Zelensky and work it out. He keeps saying that, but Zelensky refuses to meet with Putin. The Hungarian foreign minister, Peter Szijjártó, yeah, if you read it, you're like, how do you say that? Szijjártó. He stated that there's no place for war. That Hungary, European Union, with Hungary, European Union at the table. So they're saying the European Union is war hungry, and you can't bring them to the negotiation table because they're going to create more problems. That is what the foreign minister there is saying, that Europe's war hungry. You can't bring them to the peace talks with Russia and Ukraine. It's not going to get anywhere. So former Ukraine President Viktor Poroshenko, who's a turd in his own right, he told news outlets that Zelensky is a 4-time draft dodger, which is funny. So Poroshenko's son just entered. He's 25 years old, so he has to go to the military now because of the events in the Ukraine. So he was basically Poroshenko was pumping his chest out saying, you're a draft dodger, but my son, who is the son of a former president, is still going to go do his duty to the country. So that was kind of a shot towards Zelensky. So there are several things that President Trump has brought up that he says makes Zelensky a dictator. And then we're going to be done talking about Ukraine. Trump says that, well, think about it. Zelensky's in his 6th year of a 5-year presidential term. So how did Zelensky get 1 extra year to be president? Well, because he declared martial law in February of 2022 and he put a ban on elections. So how do you become president forever? You ban the elections. You create martial law and ban the election. That's what he did. So as of right now, there's no scheduled election coming up in Ukraine. None. Trump is advocating for there to be an election. If you look at Ukraine polls, Zelensky is very unpopular in his country. Zelensky has also banned 11 political parties in his country. So if you're in opposition to him, he bans you. He passed the law in 2022 to censor journalists and combined all news into one government-run station. So that would be like if Biden got rid of Fox News and Newsmax and OANN and turned them and said, hey, you guys are all part of CNN now. And that's all that gets reported is CNN stuff. Zelensky did that in his country. There's no two or three different views over there. It's Zelensky's way or the highway. What he's doing to journalists, he is investigating. If any journalist investigates his corruption, they get conscripted and thrown to the front lines to die. So if they're a journalist, he says, "Oh, you want to be a smart ass journalist and screw with my presidential run? Go to the front line." And what journalist wants to go to the front line?
I'd survive just so I can do the story afterwards.
Right. But a lot of journalists have died in the Ukraine.
I would be one of them. Just to spite them, I'm making it the whole way.
Right. I would be so motivated. Like, I'm not dying. I'm going to go back and I'm going to stick this report right up Zelensky's ass.
Every week, I'm sending in a new letter about what's going on the front lines. They get hand-picked news straight from the front lines.
Still alive, yep. Mr. President. So also, then there's a non-government organization in the Ukraine that was funded by the Biden State Department. They published a list of Americans that are Trumpers and what they call communist, which is basically more Trumpers. It was basically a hit list. So that way, and this is the one that Elon Musk is on, Tucker Carlson's on, Candace Owens is on it. Anybody who's talked bad about Zelensky in our country is on that list. There's 388 people he's got on that list. Naturally, the Biden administration pretended like it never happened and no questions were asked. So let's talk about Doge real quick. Doge. It's an American household name now. So Doge, Elon is considering talking to President Trump about distributing some Doge dividends back to the American people in the amount of around $5,000. Shauna, what kind of effect is that going to have on people, you think?
I'm hoping for 7, but hey, Mom, beggars can't be choosers, so we'll go with the 5.
I mean, are people going to be happy to get that money? Is that going to make people go, well, Trump might not be so bad?
I mean, I feel like it's going to have a double thing. I mean, obviously, some people are going to be happy about it. They're going to celebrate it. And then there's probably just going to be a lot of people that's just going to be like, oh, are you guys happy now? You finally got your money. You got your stimulus checks. Because, of course, that was passed around when Trump won.
But it's not a stimulus check.
Because of stimulus checks.
But it's not a stimulus check. It's a payback from the money that politicians have stole from us. And that's it's not enough because they've been doing this for a long time. We're probably due $5,000 every year for the last 20 years. But that's 5,000 is what we're gonna get, and that's fine. It's fine.
I mean, I think it's a good start, and I mean, the main thing is starting to help people out, and this is going to help the mass majority of people out. Like, besides the people who are in dire need in California and North Carolina and all the areas that's been severely impacted, this is going to help just the everyday common person. $5,000 is $5,000 that not anybody had in your pocket right now.
I mean, my dad says we should be using that money to pay down the national debt, which I agree. But at the same time, that money shouldn't even have made it into circulation because it came out of our taxes. We paid it out of our taxes. So if we didn't have all these wasted expenditures, our taxes wouldn't have been so high, and that money would have been in our pockets anyway. So I believe that. Yeah, it would be nice to pay off the national debt. I think the cuts, when Elon's done cutting everything, I think the national debt's going to start to head in the right direction. But I think that when these politicians have been stealing from us for all this time, we need some of that money back in our pocket. And even if it's just a one-time thing, I'm good with that. And I'm not going to complain.
But I mean, it's perfect right around the time that it should happen, tax season. Like, it's okay. Like, it's okay. Just dump an extra 5 on everybody's taxes this year. Some people, that might be all they get. So, I mean, I think that's okay. Like, I think it's not the worst thing in the world.
I mean, it's our money that got stolen from us.
There you go.
But at the same time, I do believe that we need to really pay attention to the national debt, and that needs to get under control. If I'm in debt $36 trillion, is you think Bank of America is going to tell me I'm good money? Hell no, they're not. They're going to go to cut this guy off, man. He's a liability. That's why America does not have an A+ credit rating. We're like an A. It's like the first time we've been an A for a long time. Like, our credit score went down as a country.
Honestly, I was more so thinking a B.
We're not. No, it's the rankings are very broad. So we're actually an A. But
I feel like we're very poor right now.
So my dad brought up a good point. So people who don't pay taxes or who don't owe taxes get the rebate. So Elon is saying that tax-paying Americans get it. It's not going out to everybody. Just if you work and you pay taxes, you're getting it. And I think if he's going to do it, that's how it needs to be. I don't think that if you're somebody who's sat around on welfare, you're not getting it because it's tax money. We paid it. It's a payback for the money that the government stole from us. It's not a stimulus. It's not a stimulus. A stimulus means everybody gets it, no matter what contribution you make to American society. Taxpayers only. There. Hope that answers your question, Dan. And Elon has suggested that it only goes to taxpayers only. So if you've been living off the welfare system, you're not getting it. So there's other Elon Musk news. Tesla is working on, taking some of their business out of China and moving it into India. He's been with Prime Minister Modi, and they've worked out some kind of deal. It's crazy because Trump left India. Now all of a sudden we got all these deals going on with India. So Trump went over there and worked out something really good for America, where India and the United States can have a positive relationship, which India has a lot of people over there. So they're going to need work. But the good thing is as Teslas get more and more popular, there's a global need for them.
He just rolled out the new ones, so they a lot more affordable right now.
Yeah.
Let y'all know.
Except for the Elon truck, that's what I call it, the Elon truck that tried to run me off the road today.
I mean, yeah, that and probably their sports car, the little roadster. That's the two most expensive things they have, or they offer, anyways.
Right. I don't like battery powered cars. I don't like anything that the government can flip a switch and turn off. But okay, so next. So as currently we are up to $55 billion that Doge has saved us. That's a good start. I think they've only done like 2.7% of the government. So there's a lot of work to do. Elon's going to get it done. Okay, so next let's talk about the United States Marines versus the cartels. Who wins, Shauna? Marines or cartels?
Hoorah!
I agree.
Yeah. I wish I could be there for that. I just wish I could be there for that because I know that's like badass. Just saying.
Yeah, I don't even think the cartels would make it a half hour. We've collected so much intel on them already that they're done. They're done and they don't even know it yet. So there's some good things that have happened out of this. So Arizona, the state of Arizona they're working on passing a bill that authorizes authorities to shoot down the cartel's drones. I like that. Shoot them down. Their drones shouldn't be flying over our border. Shoot them all down. These drones that they have they're large and they're capable of carrying explosives. Border czar Tom Homan states that President Trump will not hesitate to use military force against cartels. Amen. Sometimes you just got to remind people who the big dog is. Some people forget. These cartels think they're doing something, but they're gonna find out they ain't nothing. Cartels are ordering their people to target Border Patrol agents. On January 28th, there was a gunfire exchange between the Border Patrol and the cartels. So there's things happening down there. Most liberal media is not telling you about it because they don't want you to think that there's bad guys in Mexico for some stupid ass reason. So the CIA has come out and said, yes, we are using drones to spy on and locate where all the fentanyl labs are. They're using the MQ-9 Reapers, which is some pretty darn good technology right there.
I'm just a little confused at how arrogant the cartel is being. Like, majority of these cartels have already been monitored by like the FBI and the CIA for so many years. It's like they know the ins and outs of a lot of these cartels. So to just be like, oh, well, we're just going to fight them, we don't care. Like, you're not going to stop us from doing what we're doing. Like a lot of these cartels, we know your whole entire structure. So to even want to go toe to toe is just very interesting.
There's not really a lot of secrets there. We just need to, Trump's going to go say, okay, here's where everybody's at. And if they mess with us, night. And that's how it'll go down. We have drones that are so precise that we could take out one building, isolated building, and they're going to find out. They're going to find out. real fast. Even Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, somehow she's a Mexican president with a German last name. I'm still not figuring that out. I'm struggling. I'm really struggling with this. But she has actually been kind of supportive. There's things that are happening that she doesn't agree with, but overall, she's cooperating with President Trump because she's terrified of the repercussions that come with defying Donald Trump and defying America. And she's a new president too, so she's basically jumping in to the former president Obrador, like his disaster and his deals that he was making with Biden all the time. So now this is going to give Mexico a chance to clean their hand. And I think Claudia Sheinbaum, the German Mexican, needs to really take this moment to seize full control over the country. Say, hey, the cartels, they're done. No more cartels. So we'll see what happens. She's probably already on the take and getting cartel money, so she probably isn't going to change anything. Last thing I'm going to bring up today is Trump, the Department of Justice has dismissed several issues regarding New York City Mayor Eric Adams. So as a lot of you know, that the liberals were trying to funnel a lot of money to New York City to house the illegal immigrants. Finally, it got to the point where the constituents of New York City were not having it. So Eric Adams, doing what a good politician should do, listened to his constituency. And the majority of them were saying, hey, you got to do something about these legal immigrants. This ain't happening. They're in our schools. We had to kick kids out of school so they could live there. They're staying in 5-star hotels. They're getting all this money put on their government cards. Like, get them out of here. And so Eric Adams said, all right, I don't want these illegals here. So he became very vocal about it. And this was at the time when Biden was still president. So when that happened, all of a sudden he's got this corruption case on him now, because this is that was Biden's administrative way of shutting up Eric Adams. Well, it didn't work. Trump won the election against a much weaker candidate, Kamala Harris, very weak candidate, not capable of being president. Did I do good on that one? She's just not a very strong candidate. There were probably 7,500 other better candidates than her. She didn't even receive one vote, not one delegate vote. In 2 presidential runs, not one. That's how much people don't like her. That's how poor of a candidate she was. Anyway, so she lost. Trump won. Eric Adams did not go to Donald Trump and say, oh, Mr. Trump, can you please save me from these corruption charges? No, Donald Trump went in there and said, sir, what they're doing to you is the same thing they did to me. I can 100% relate to what you went through. And so Department of Justice drops the charges. So New York City Governor Kathy Hochul, who's a complete psychopath, she is trying to find a different way to remove him. And so a group of New York City assemblymen and women, along with a few senators, wrote a very nicely worded letter to Kathy Hochul and said, do not do this. The election's coming up. Let the constituency decide who gets to be the mayor of New York City. Don't put it on yourself to remove him. He was voted in. He doesn't have any criminal charges pending anymore. He's not convicted of anything. You just don't like him because he's bad for your progressive communist agenda. And they're right. These people are right in this letter. So I'm going to be following this a little bit further to see what kind of hokey pokey that the psychopath Kathy Hochul comes up with to try to get rid of Eric Adams. I don't think Eric Adams is a perfect politician, but he's probably one of the better ones on the left. He is a former chief of police. He does seem to listen to his constituency, which no matter what side of the fence you're on, if you're the type of politician that listens to your people when they speak, that makes you a pretty decent politician right off the bat, because that's what your job is to do, is to listen to your constituents. So no matter if it aligns with your political progress or not. So I'm okay with that. Even though Eric Adams is probably going to turn into a Republican, just like John Fetterman. We like John Fetterman now. He's the best Democrat of all time. And we used to make fun of him all the time. That's the craziest thing. And now we're like, hey, sorry, John Fetterman. We're sorry for making fun of you. And when you were having your strokes. And we thought your wife was running your Senate seat. We're sorry. Don't try to chase any more people of color down the street with baseball bats anymore. He didn't do that. There was a black guy jogging in his neighborhood, and he went outside with a baseball bat. It said you ain't supposed to be in here. But the left completely covered that up. You never heard about it on CNN or MSNBC because it was one of theirs that did it. You know, those people that created the Ku Klux Klan, the Democrats. Shauna, do you have any words of wisdom for the audience today? No? Oh, here we go. Uh-oh.
Thanks, Mom. Sorry, you hear her watching her video. I would say everybody go to the store. Let's get an encyclopedia, a dictionary. Kenzo, don't do that. Any of those things. Let's start reading and comprehending. Maybe, thank you, Kenzo. And maybe learning cursive so you can read important documents, because that's where all the important information is. And I say that if you want to learn a few things, those are going to be some real prominent tools you'll use to learn. So, because I'm just tired of the ignorance. So I think that's let's go. You know, even if you don't have the money to go get one, you can get one from the library for free. All you got to do is sign up for a library card. So that's it. That's what I have to give me and Kenzo. My little translator here. Yeah.
He's doing a good job.
Yeah, great job, buddy.
He's doing a good job.
Be quiet.
You sound like Elon Musk's kid.
No.
Shush your mouth. Shush.
You be quiet.
See?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna remember that next time you come to work, Kenzo.
No. Bye-bye.
No.
But that is our show for the day. Shauna needs to spend some time with her kids. I've taken up enough of her time. I'll be back on Sunday. I'm sure there's going to be a lot. Usually my Sunday shows are jam-packed full of news stories because a lot happens at the end of the week. But everybody be safe out there. Know where your kids are at. Watch out for the crazies. They're everywhere. Watch out for liberals. They're everywhere too. I'm out. Peace.
You be quiet.
Right here.
You don't.